What I'd love us to think about are these two principles. Number one, our voice matters. And number two, that discipline is not about severity, it's about connection and consistency. And what I'd like us to do is to try and figure out, what does this look like in real life? What does it look like to have boundaries that are not a prison, but are a safety zone? That actually in rejecting boundaries that are a prison, we don't have to reject all boundaries. Actually, what we have to do is redesign the boundaries to be the safety zone. So I'd love us to think about practically, what does this look like in different scenarios? And one of the things I want you to bear in mind are those two approaches to parenting that we talked about before. That parenting ought to have this tension of both protecting our children from the world and preparing our children for the world. And if you do one without the other, we can become parents that spoil our kids and they become entitled if we just want to protect them from the world. Or equally, if we just want to toughen them up and act like a drill sergeant, then we can err on this side, where our children can be exasperated and hardened and full of a different type of anxiety. And so what we want is, we want to stay clear of going either one of these directions, but hold this together, that we both want to prepare them for the world and protect them from the world. And so let's have a think about a few things. One of the things to think about is how we do consequences. So if we're a drill sergeant, or if we're a sort of a clucking hen that wants to spoil our children, the way we do consequences can be very different. If all we want to do is protect our children from discomfort, actually we can be pretty inconsistent in consequences. We don't want our children to be disappointed. We don't want them to be upset. We don't want them to feel any sort of discomfort. And so we avoid letting them feel any consequences there are. Actually, that is terrible for child development. They need to understand that the boundaries that are around them are safe, but that they're also consistent. They need to know that those boundaries connect, but that they're consistent. So having inconsistent consequences isn't good for the kids. But equally so, having a drill sergeant that does a carrot and stick approach to consequences. If you do this, I'll give you the carrot. If you don't do it, I'll give you the stick. The problem is those consequences, while they might be consistent, they do not connect. That in any other relationship, if you say, you must do this, and if you do, I'll give you the carrot, and if you don't, I'll give you the stick, that doesn't sort of scream out, this person loves me and has my best interests at heart. This screams out, this person wants me to do what they want. And actually, carrot and stick consequences might provide a consistent boundary, but it's more like a prison than it is like a safety zone. And so I'd love to think about how does this look like in everyday run-of-the-mill family events. So we're thinking about meal times, and a lovely healthy meal has been cooked full of green stuff and really healthy stuff, and ice cream is around the corner. What happens when the child refuses to eat the meal and only wants dessert? Well, if we go the mother hen route, well, we just say, you're supposed to eat the meal, but if they don't, well, they just get dessert anyway. And what that teaches the kids is we don't actually have to listen to our parents' voice. When our parents' voice says, you need to eat the food, but when we don't, nothing happens. That teaches us we don't need to listen to them. We can do whatever we want. But equally so, if we take the approach of, unless you eat your food, you will not get your dessert. That's the carrot and stick. That's the drill sergeant approach. And if the child doesn't eat their meal, you didn't eat your meal, no dessert. It could be consistent, but it hasn't connected with the children. The children don't come away from that conversation thinking, that person gets me. That person understands me. I've connected with that person. But actually, there's a different way that both connects and is consistent. Where imagine you've cooked this lovely meal and they don't want to eat it, but they just want their dessert. And for me to say, do you know what? Your mummy loves you so much that she's cooked this healthy meal. And do you know what your mummy and I, we just love? We love to see you both healthy and happy. And do you know what? We want you to grow up to be healthy. And that's why mummy goes to all this work to cook this lovely, amazing food. And I know sometimes it's not your favorite, but see this is what's going to make you big and strong. And we love to see you healthy. We also love to see you happy. And so, do you know what? Mommy went out and she bought these gorgeous treats, this gorgeous ice cream, because she knows it's your favorite. Because do you know what just warms our heart? See that smile on your face as you have your favorite ice cream. And do you know what? If we could keep you healthy and happy all the time, that would just be perfect. But sometimes those two things are hard to pull together. Where sometimes the food that makes you healthy doesn't make you that happy. And sometimes the food that makes you happy doesn't make you that healthy. And what me and mummy are trying to do is we're trying our best to make sure you're both healthy and happy. And so what we do is we say, let's eat the healthy food first, and then let's have that amazing treat. Now, what I've done there is I've said there is going to be a boundary. The healthy stuff has to be eaten before the treat. But what we've tried to do is we've tried to make it sure that we understand that for them this is difficult. And because they don't like the healthy stuff and they just want to eat. We understand that this is difficult, but we've also tried to get the children to understand that we have their best interests at heart, that actually we feel so much joy when we see them smiling and enjoying their treat, that we're on their side. We're rooting for them to have the treat. We're also rooting for them to be healthy. And taking an approach to discipline that both connects and is consistent teaches the children that these boundaries are a safety zone. What about when it comes to home time? You know, you're out at a party and you know the kids are having a blast with their other friends, and it's time to go home. That's often a time where there's a total meltdown and a total fight about, I don't want to go, just give me more time. And you could take an approach like the clucking hen that says it's time to go, and then they say, no, we want more time, and you say, fine. And then you say it's time to go and we want more time. And again, what that teaches the children is that you don't need to listen to your parents' voice. Just because they say it's time to go doesn't mean it is. And if you fight hard enough against them, you can get extra time. Or you could do the drill sergeant approach of dragging them out by the scruff of the neck because you've said it's time to go. And that might be consistent, but it doesn't connect with them. They don't come away from that experience thinking my mummy, my daddy has my back. They get me, they understand me, they're rooting for me. Actually, there's a way to talk to them that both connects and is consistent. Where imagine before you go to the party, you say, do you know what, you're going to have so much fun. You're going to be playing with your friends or your cousins, whoever it is. And do you know what? You see as mummy and daddy watch you doing that just brings us such happiness to see you having fun. And sometimes we just wish we could stay there the whole day to let you have that fun the whole day. But later on, mummy and daddy, we have to be somewhere. We have to get back at a certain time. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you absolutely as much time as we can. Okay, we're going to stay as long as we can because we want to see you enjoying it. We want to see you happy. But here's the deal. When mummy and daddy say it's time to go, will you not fight us? Will you not say, can we please have more time? Listen, we'll give you as much time as we can. But when it comes time to go, just say, okay, mummy, daddy, and let's go. But that is going to be hard. So what we'll do is 5 minutes before it's time to go, we'll just give you a wee heads up to say, in 5 minutes we're going. But I want you to have so much fun. But when your mummy says it's time to get in the car, I don't want you to fight her. Just want you to jump in the car because we'll give you as much time. Now that's still consistent. And that is teaching them to respect your voice, that when you say it's time to go, you mean it. But what it also gives them confidence in is that you're not trying to rob them of their fun. That actually you're on their side. You're trying to give them as much time to have as much fun as possible. And so when you finally do say it's time to go, it's because you've given them as much time, and now it's time to say thank you and to head on. It's true with sharing as well. If there's more than one child in the family, trying to share toys can be challenging. And one of the things I love to encourage is actually the way that siblings relate to each other is their first school in how to do relationships. Actually, as they learn to negotiate and as they learn to be kind, that is you giving them the skills for all the future relationships that they're going to have. Because as siblings bang heads about sharing and playing and how to work together, that is their first-hand developmental school that will stand them in good stead for all the future relationships they have. And so one of the things that we need to get clear is, when it comes to sharing, it's not primarily about who had it first. It's primarily about who's being kind. Because if it's just about who got it first, then quick, get all the toys and gather them in so that you have them all first and you have all the rights. But what we want to teach them is it's not about rights. It's about kindness and responsibility. And trying to show that, yes, I'm playing with this, but as soon as I'm free, I'd love you to have it. But also, instead of being on the back foot and surviving the sibling struggles, we as parents, we can actually use this as amazing opportunities to teach them about sharing, to teach them about working together, to teach them about teamwork. But what it needs is both connection and consistency, and for them to understand that your voice matters and that when you say something, it matters. So rather than sharing being a thing that we survive, actually it can be a great opportunity for us to grab that and run with it. So imagine, it's a lovely sunny day out here at the minute. Imagine I take the kids together and I say, I'd love to set us a challenge. Because you know what, one of the most important things in life, as you grow and develop, is learning to work with other people, to deal with other people, to be kind with other people, and to be good leaders. And so I'd love to set a challenge. Do you want to try this challenge? You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but can we try this challenge? How about it, right? We all go down to the local supermarket, okay? And you go to the lollipop ice cream aisle. And if you can do the challenge, I'll buy you whatever box of ice creams you want. But here's the deal. If you're not able to do it yet, we won't buy them. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll try it again. But let's try this challenge. Let's see if we can do it. I think you can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Here's the challenge. If all three of you can go to the ice cream aisle and you can pick one box of ice cream with no more than 4 ice creams in it, one box of ice cream with 4 ice creams in it, I'll buy it for you. But if you can't agree which box, we'll just go home. Do you want to try it? You don't have to try it. Do you want to try it? Okay, we'll try it. And what we're doing there is we're not saying if you don't agree you can't have ice cream. It's not a carrot and stick. I'm against you. You better behave, otherwise you won't get a treat. It's setting it up to say teamwork is so important for you. I want you to thrive in life, and I'm going to teach you some skills. But what it depends on is the ability for you to follow through. That if they can't agree, then we say, listen, don't worry about it. You'll get this. We'll try it tomorrow, and we walk out the shop. I've lost count of how many times I've done this with different groups of children, sometimes small, sometimes big. I've never once had to walk out of a shop. It is amazing how children can organize themselves when they know that you're on their side and they know that you mean what you say. I've never once had to leave one of those supermarkets without them coming and saying, this is the box that we've all agreed on. But what's more, it's a great opportunity to listen into those negotiations because you learn stuff about the children. You learn which children have a silver tongue and an ability to negotiate and bring people round to their way of thinking. You also spot the children who are all or nothing. They will dig their heels in and say, I want this ice cream, and if I can't have it, none of us are having any. And actually, that creates amazing opportunities to chat to those kids and to talk to them about what it means, because they have different characters and different personalities. And each of those characters can be used for good or can be used for bad. And that provides an opportunity for you to engage with those kids, to talk about how they can use the gifts and the characters and the dispositions, not to be self-centered, but actually to be sacrificial.